What's up, Radiant Soul? So, if you're new here, this is a safe space for like minded individuals who prioritize wellness. So, today we're going to be talking about having a deeper appreciation for life, which is what reverence means. Reverence is just having a deeper care for humanity or for the world. So, for example, instead of throwing that trash out the window when you're driving on the highway, just waiting until you get to a trash can to throw it in the trash because, for one, you don't want to pollute the earth. And then, for two, there's other animal and bugs who might eat that plastic and they might actually die because of a selfish decision you made. So when you operate from a place of reverence, you think deeply about the way that things impact the world and the way that things impact other people. So again, for example, if you're operating from a place of reverence versus cutting somebody off while they're driving going 60 miles per hour, you're just going to let them go and go behind them. Like, it's a deeper consideration that many individuals in this world do not have. And so many people are looking to be served and for people to be kind to them and gracious to them, but they're not kind and gracious to other people. So I feel like we have to be the change that we want to see in this world. So operating with being more intentional, being more considerate, is it just that's just what operating from a place of reverence means. Like, just operating from a place of more intentionality and more consideration and more care for God's creation. So for example, like AI, a lot of the AI is using so much water, it's causing like global warming, it's causing issues with the earth. So like, being that I know that, I intentionally don't use AI for specific things because I feel like I don't want to contribute to the decline of the world. And I know that I might lose money for doing that. I know I might not make as much money because I'm not using AI on a daily basis to make. I wanted to make YouTube automation videos at a certain point, but then I realized like AI is literally destroying the world. Like, even the cars that a lot of the technology that is created is at the expense of the world. A lot of the food that they make, like, we live in a society that's based off of not considering the humans in the world. So, for example, the food that we eat, a lot of the chemicals that they put in our food are killing us. Like, they'll give us cancer, but because the cancer and the pharmaceutical industries make a lot of money, that they're not going to take those ingredients out of the food. So it's not about our wellness. This world doesn't care about our mental wellness, our emotional wellness, our spiritual wellness. So it programs us to be desensitized when we're moving and operating in the world. So then it's like a world full of people who only care about themselves, a world full of people who have no reverence, appreciation for God's creation or for other individuals. We have no people giving grace. We have no people thinking about anything but themselves. And when you're living in a world like that, it could be a super cold place. So one man can change the world. So you have to be the change that you want to see. And you're not going to change these big pharmaceutical, these big companies and corporations. Because they always say living in America is a corporation. You live in a corporation. Like, we're not valued just for simply being creations of God. We're valued based off of extrinsically, meaning externally, what we produce. So like status, career, money. But you have to find identity, like a deeper sense of self in things that don't bring you any monetary gain, like being a friend, being a part of a community, being a sister, being a daughter, being, I just think certain roles, we focus so much on success in this world. How we treat people is the true definition of success. The consideration we have for God's creation is our true definition of success. So it's like, you could have all the money in the world. If you're not kind to people, if you're not considerate to people in the eyes of God, you're not successful. That you're pretty much getting this world at the price of the next world. So I'm not saying that it's easy and that we have to be considerate in every moment of our life. But one thing I have realized is the quality of your life improves drastically when you focus on things that money can't buy. Okay, money can't buy kindness. Money can't buy grace. Money can't buy consideration. And you don't have to only consider people that you know. Consider strangers in the world. Okay. Well, again, the next time you go somewhere and someone's trying to speed around you, just let them go. You're not going to be the one to stop. You're not going to be the one to teach them a lesson. God is going to be the one to teach them a lesson. So extend grace. The next time you want to go off on somebody for something they did, just choose to like withdraw your energy and extend them grace. Now, if you need to remove access to preserve yourself and protect yourself, you can do that. But I'm talking about more situations that happen on a day-to-day basis, like road rage, like where someone could give grace. Like when people are driving, people are speeding, cutting each other's off, because that's the number one fatality in the world in America, like car accidents. So instead of trying to speed and go around somebody, why not just let them go? Like, it takes two people to argue. It takes two people to be ignorant. It takes two people to have an interaction. So if you just let a person, let them have it and give them grace in that moment and go about your day, God will handle it. God will rectify the situation. So I think when you have a deeper appreciation for life, you just don't trip on things that you can't control. And you don't try to control other individuals. Like, you're just existing, and you're trying to exude the behavior that you would like to see in the future generation. So you're being the change that you want to see. You're living intentionally, and when you live intentionally, 99% of people not living like that. 99% of people not living like that. So you're not going to fit in like that. You're not going to have a lot of friends because certain things going to start to turn you off. Like, again, when you people throwing trash out the window, I've literally cut people off for doing stuff like that because it's like that's how you're not a considerate person. You don't think about anything but yourself. You feel me? People who are willing to risk the life of other people to get somewhere quicker, I'm good. I don't even want to ride. I'm good. Certain things display deeper parts of someone's character, like a deeper level of selfishness. So again, when you're doing the work that most people won't do, you're not going to be surrounded by so many people. You'll have certain people, that are in community with you, but all in all, it's a lonely journey when you operate from a place of consciousness and you operate from a place of reverence, okay? And I didn't always operate from a place of reverence. I was so focused on extrinsic things. I was so focused on like climbing the ladder, getting where I want to go, money. I stopped being kind. I stopped being gracious. I stopped being generous. And I started to be like, just, I would say a boss, because in our world, that's what a boss is called, like a person who's like cutthroat. Like, it's about getting money. Like, you don't really consider people's emotions. But when I tell you, I was the most miserable when I operated from that place. And pain changed me and it caused me to be that way because I realized like people don't value good people. Like, people don't value kind people. They take advantage of them. And after I had certain friendships or certain relationships that I felt like I wasn't valued or appreciated in, I was like disregarded or just not treated with reverence, with kindness, with appreciation, with respect. It changed me a bit. I became, that's why when people say, how could you become the thing that once destroyed you? It wasn't intentional. I didn't intentionally become selfish, ungraceful, just not considerate. Like, I kind of was operating from a place of me trying to protect myself because when I did lead with love, when I did lead with kindness, when I did lead with forgiveness, when I did lead with appreciation, it wasn't respected. It wasn't appreciated. So instead of me thinking like, oh, let me just, pull my energy back and go around people where that operate from this place, I just completely changed and I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm done being nice. I think when I turned 23 or 24, I was like, I am done. Like, I was burnt out from just overperforming for so many years of my life and showing up for people and showing out for people, giving my last money, like whatever it is, just being graceful, and those same people had zero grace for me. So if you're around individuals who don't consider you, who don't respect you, who don't operate from a place of reverence, just get away from them. But don't change the essence of who you are because that's what makes you special and that's what makes you beautiful. So you might be deemed weird in this world when you're more conscious and you're more aware. It's not like you're perfect because you're a human too, but you just try to be more conscious of the way that your actions make other people feel. You try to be more conscious of the fact that, like, okay, I've hurt people's feelings too before. So this person, you don't immediately assume malicious things about individuals unless their pattern of behavior tells you that. You give grace. And sometimes when you give grace, you get to see that deeper part of a person where it's like, okay, like I see you. Like, I see you. The shell that you have on the exterior to survive this world is not the true essence of your soul. And that's where connection takes place. So many people are so busy judging people, being harsh, being unforgiving and unkind to people. Um, and it just prohibits connection. You're never going to have deep connection when you operate from a space like that. So as I've gotten older, I've came back to the true essence of who I am. But it took me years, like, and it's still sometimes a struggle because internally my nervous system was so dysregulated by staying places longer than God told me to stay. So I'm around people. God been told me to get away from these people. When I was 18, I'll get away from you fast. 19, I used to just get away from people so fast. And then I was kind of lonely, because I'm like, dang, like I didn't want that connection to end. So I stopped listening to God and I started staying in places that I was supposed to leave quicker. Like, some people were not your friends. Some relationships you should have walked away from sooner. And then it changed. I became bitter hearted because instead of me accepting the fact that, like, the path of consciousness, the path of being a kind person who's not only about extrinsic thing that cares about intrinsic things like, character, principle, morals, like being kind, being considerate. But a person who gives grace but is not giving grace back, I finally I kind of lost that again, like in relationships. Being staying in the wrong places for too long made me pick up the characteristics of other individuals that were never mine. So once I started moving more consciously again, I was like, this was not for me. So I call my energy back to me, and I release any negative things that I picked up based off on the environment and individuals that I was connected to. So it's no point in beating yourself up if you don't operate from a place of consciousness, but as you're on your journey to evolution, because like Nipsey Hussle said, it's a marathon. The marathon it ain't, there's always work to be done, and everybody's at different phases of their journey of doing work internally on themselves. So instead of beating yourself up, instead of feeling bad about where you're at, consciousness is the first step. Like once you become aware of certain behavior that you perpetuate that's detrimental to society or detrimental to people, you're able to move better, you're able to be more conscious, you're able to make better choices and better decisions, and in turn you're being the change that you want to see in the world. And every day ain't gonna be perfect. You'll have days where you're not patient and you don't give grace, but the catch is quicker. Like I know when I'm tripping. I know when I'm having a bad attitude. Excuse me. I know when my disposition is off, maybe because I'm tired, I'm frustrated, but that does not give me the right to go into the world and mistreat God's creation just because I'm having a hard day. It doesn't, a lot of times we make excuses for ourselves for mistreating people or being unkind to people because of personal things that we have going on in our life. But if we operate from a place of reverence, we're still going to show up and be kind even when it's not easy to do so, because this is our principles, this is our morals, this is our characters.